Afternoon, people. Good morning. Good evening. It's the AM for me. Just got back from work, and I just saw the market. Well, I didn't just see, but I witnessed the market crash. Some coins went down substantially, 20%. But most of those probably the majority of you aren't holding, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. BNB was one of them that pretty much, had a bit of a disaster, which is not a surprise considering that the SEC is after CZ Binance or CZ CEO of Binance, with accusations that they've been selling unregistered securities for quite some time. What does it say? 61, well, now labeled at least 61 cryptocurrencies and securities. So, I mean, I've easily just got home and I've gone, where's the first news article I could find? And it was Cointelegraph. And as you can see at the top here where my mouse is, like, yeah, everything is down. I mean, like, ETH and Bitcoin, the most reliable and most decentralized coins out there, are not down at all. I mean, 2-3%. It's small. It's small. Like, I'm not too worried about the main cryptos, which are BTC and ETH. Considering BNB is like the native chain of Binance, being down 8% is not a surprise. XRP, I'm surprised it's still alive. ADA, same thing. Doge is still overpriced at 7 cents. And I know there's a lot of people thinking 7 cents is cheap, but you have no idea. Before the last bull, this thing was below a penny. So people are still up majorly. And I mean, they've got a strong, backing from the community, whoever the Doge army are. I'm going to call them the Doge army, but they're holding on strong. So let's get into this article. Basically, they're saying that in most recent cases, Binance, the SEC introduced 10 cryptocurrencies into securities classification. BNB token, BUSD, which is like a USD tethered coin. So basically, Binance BUSD is a dollar. Sol, which I'm still surprised is alive at $20 is pretty impressive. Like, I think they've got a good community backing. They've got a lot of people in the background working on protocols for the Solana. So I think the token might do well in the next bull, but we just got to wait for more clarity on what exactly is happening with FTX. There are rumors that like FTX 2.0 is coming out and perhaps customers will get refunds. Cardano, well, I'm not going to say much about Cardano. Matic is a side chain to Ethereum. I'm just going over these things. Maybe you guys know this or maybe you don't. If you do, just skip forward a little bit. Um, yeah, so Matic is like a side chain, so they basically settle their transactions with Matic token. So it's a gas fee token basically. Cosmos, which is like a multi-layer sort of hub where you can do multiple transactions and people can interact and stuff. Don't know what Sandbox is. Mana's been around forever. Um, Axie Infinity was like the darling of the last bull market, and God knows they went to crazy prices, and Coty had never heard of it. So it says today we charge Binance Holdings, based affiliate BAM Trading Services, which together with Binance operates Binance US, and their founder Xi Jinping Zhao, with a variety of securities law violations. And then they actually have like a message from I think this was like a WhatsApp or something where the team are communicating via WhatsApp. It says we are operating an effing unlicensed securities exchange in the US, bro. Binance Chief Compliance Officer. That was in 2018. So it's taken them 5 years basically, the SEC, to come to the conclusion that perhaps what Binance are doing is not legal, and it sounds to me like maybe someone's hands didn't get rubbed or greased the right way. Do you know what I mean? Other notable cryptocurrencies SEC as deemed securities are Ripple, and currently Ripple in like a lawsuit with I think it's the CFTC or part of the American regulatory bodies, and there was like discussions in the crypto community. You see a lot of podcasts and videos where people are like, XRP are going to win this and it's going to be great for crypto. But given that the SEC has just announced that perhaps there's security, I don't know how likely that is. So if you are placing your bets on XRP being the next settlement layer for the US banking system, I don't know. Library credits, that's an old one. I can remember library credits from a long time ago, although not secondary sales. And Algorand. Algorand basically are a VC chain. So they had like a lot of VC backing and people basically getting cheap tokens. Then it goes on to retail, and retail they just dump on them. They use retail for liquidity. So I'm not at all surprised about Algorand being on there. So it's the suits that are really in trouble here. Um, let's see, there's other things going on here. SEC blah, blah, blah. So it's just repeating the same sort of article. But I think the most important and interesting thing about this whole situation is the fact that they've been accused of commingling funds, which is what FTX got caught up with. I'm just gonna have a sip of my juice. Sorry, excuse me, guys. Yeah, excuse me there. Yeah, so basically what commingling of funds means is that customers are depositing their crypto into the exchange, and their Binance are basically taking that money and using it for other purposes. There's nothing in the terms and conditions. If it's like FTX, there's nothing in the terms and conditions to say that they can't do that. But from moral perspective and a regulatory perspective, it's not the best thing to be doing. It could also put the whole enterprise at risk. So let's see. The world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance, commingled customer funds with company revenue in 2020 and 2021 in breach of US financial rules that require customer money to be kept separate. Three sources familiar with the matter told Reuters. So yeah, Gary Gensler, who's well, depending on your perspective, he could be the legend of regulatory bodies, or he could be the biggest clown that anyone has ever seen because he's missed so many things. It's basically, for me, with these regulatory bodies, from my personal perspective, is that they're reactionary. So they don't seem to, stop crime from happening. They seem to put laws in place to not allow the crimes to happen again. So they need to see the laws happening before they actually, or breaking the law to actually happen, before they do anything. And I'm afraid that's just the way it works down. The SEC has this year launched a crackdown on a string of crypto firms, but has not targeted Binance with any direct enforcement action. Binance allowed US customers to trade on its platform from 2019 to this year, despite publicly claiming to restrict access to Americans. So basically, American customers were using VPNs to access Binance US in order to trade. And who's to blame here? Is it Binance, who should be held accountable because they should be able to KYC these people? Like, it's a centralized exchange, and with centralized exchanges, they're supposed to do their due diligence, and have the KYC AML. They're supposed to have a copy of your passport, bank statements. I think I used Binance like once, and the UI, the user interface, was just, it was a disaster. I just didn't understand where I was, what I was supposed to do. Like, you put your money in one bit and then it tells you to move it somewhere else to do something. And I was just like, I'm done with this. And to be totally 100% honest, I'm not surprised that this is happening. Most centralized exchanges will be dead in the next 2 years. And this is pretty much why I wanted to do the video. I kind of wanted to say to people that, anyone that's listening, if you have money on one of these centralized exchanges, you're doing crypto completely wrong. The market will dump. You'll get news like this, and people will worry. I don't even know if it's retail, if retail's still around. Like, most of retail, I feel like they're not interested anymore. If I speak to people, it's like a blank stare when you talk about crypto, compared to I don't even know how people were feeling in the years of the bull run, because we were in lockdown in my country anyway. So you didn't actually get to see the hype. You all you got was the WhatsApp messages like, oh, I'm buying Limecoin, or in this coin, and everyone's making a little bit of change on the side, trading on leverage and just having fun. But this is serious business to some people. The people who take it very seriously are the centralized exchanges, who have your funds and they're using it to do whatever they want to. So it says, sorry, I was just a bit of a rant there. I'm going to go back to that because there's a reason why I'm not upset, but I'm just disappointed in the fact that crypto's been around for this long and people still don't understand what a hardware wallet is. Given the latest news from Ledger about them being able to have recovery, which means that they have access to your funds and can move it if they're forced to by government institutions, that's quite scary. But at the same time, at least you still know, or you're comfortable in the fact that when you take your money off of an exchange and you put it into your hardware wallet, it's actually in your pocket. It's the equivalent to having, I'm going to say £50. For the US, that's like, I don't know, $70 in my wallet, in my pocket, and I can do whatever the hell I want with it, If I had 10 grand in crypto on an exchange, I have to KYC AML verify. If I have 10 grand in my Nano Ledger S or whatever I have, then I can buy a crypto dick butt and no one's going to tell me anything about it. I can spend 10 grand on a crypto dick butt. Yes, that's a real thing. If you check NFTs, they're actually quite popular. Anyway, So I just want to read this bit here. In a statement to Reuters, Binance denied mixing customer deposits and company funds. These accounts were not used to accept user deposits. They were used to facilitate user purchases. So this is a guy called Brad Jeff, or Jaffa. There was no commingling at any time because these are 100% corporate funds. When users sent money to the account, he said they were not depositing funds but buying the exchange's bespoke dollar-linked crypto token BUSD, which is the Tether-backed currency. This process was exactly the same thing as buying a product from Amazon, Jeff said. Okay, that's interesting. The former U.S. regulators told Reuters that Binance's explanation was undermined by the exchange's own previous representations to customers that the transfers were deposits. Okay, so who's lying here? I mean, a lot of the people on crypto Twitter, a lot of the big brains anyway, they're saying that they trust they trust CZ more than they trust Gary Gensler. I mean, what are the intentions here? How we caught up? From just this, I'll link I'll link in the description a link to this article. Sorry to repeat myself. That was a bit of a weird one. And you guys can read over it for yourself because I'm not gonna, basically read out the whole thing when you can do it yourself. What I was saying is that it's very strange that a lot of the crypto community and a lot of the bigger accounts are saying that they trust CZ more than Gary Gensler. I just don't get it. And honestly, if you as an individual want to actually be involved in this space, I would advise you, man, like seriously, get your money off an exchange. I mean, imagine that the SEC do actually arrest CZ, yeah, and then Binance, maybe they get a new CEO who's like, it's kind of like, oh, what do they do? What do the Americans do? They go to other countries and they destabilize them, and then they put their own leader in charge, yeah, and create a democracy. So it could be that type of situation, and maybe you are KYC AML'd on there and everything's fine, or the Binance, all the assets under Binance management get frozen, and you've got to wait 3 years for a court injunction and all the rest of it to see what they're going to do with your money. When in reality, you have the perfect opportunity to get out now. Get your money out now, get yourself a hardware wallet, and move on. And what I would say then is, okay, so what do we do from there? Well, you go on the decentralized exchange, and there's plenty of them out there. There are plenty of L2s where you could do transactions. You could do interesting things. You can buy whatever you want. It's basically freedom when you go on chain. And none of you, whoever's watching this video, if you have your money on Binance, are on chain. I mean, there was a percentage thing where somebody said the percentage of money or people that are actually using their crypto on chain is, it's minuscule. It's like 10%. It's crazy. It's crazy to think that you've got an asset that could do so many things, and you think that it's a stock that you're just going to buy and hold and wait for the price to go up to cash out to buy a Lambo if you think it will go that far. It's insane. It's insane. But anyway, yeah, what I wanted to say is like the smart money. If I go here, top. So this is June Analytics, yeah, I'll link it in the description, and it basically gives you all this sorts of data on different things. Like you can even look at different types of tokens and the tokenomics and whatnot. So if you're curious about any sort of thing to do with a token you're interested in, this is the place to go. So what I wanted to show you is the amount of ETH that these centralized exchanges are holding, and right now Binance is holding 3.4 million ETH, which is not that much. Believe it or not, that is really not that much ETH. So the smart money is gone. So whoever this 3.4 million is, either it's Binance themselves holding it in their treasury, or it's the few that still think that they can trust decentralized exchanges. Krakens, Bitfinex, Gemini. Look, there's not millions of tokens here. You're on your own in there, mate. I don't see Coinbase on here because I feel like, yeah, I don't know, Coinbase, maybe they do things a bit more legit and people trust them more, or the data's just not here. I'm gonna go for a phrase that a world famous Bitcoin enthusiast who's been in the space for years, Andreas Antonopoulos, once said, "Centralized exchanges are like toilets. Okay, you go in there, you do your business, and then you wash your hands and you walk away." Okay, so if you're going to use Binance, you use Binance to purchase your ETH, your Bitcoin, and then you move it to a hardware wallet and you leave. That's it. You don't leave your funds on there. Okay, you don't want to go on chain and do all of that. You can still hold your funds in your hardware wallet, and when you're ready, you go to an exchange that survives this mess. Because at the moment, SEC, CFTC, the US government, who do set the standard and the rules, because from what I believe, the UK government, when the US sneezes, the UK catches AIDS. Basically, they just go to another level. Yeah, as much as they say they're crypto friendly, I don't trust them in the slightest. But what I'm saying is, yeah, just do your business on these centralized exchanges. Get out. Obviously, you can't. It's not like back in the day where you can meet a guy on a street corner, as dodgy as that sounds, and give them, 20 pounds to buy a bit of Bitcoin or whatever you wanted to do. That's not going to happen anymore because the value of these coins is quite high. But yeah, like I said, take your coins or go to these centralized exchanges, buy your coins and move them onto your hardware wallet, and then figure out how to do things on chain or just hold it there. Okay, I'm really being serious, guys, because man, if they freeze Binance, I mean the market might go to crap, but at least you're still holding your assets, man. Like seriously. So I was just wanted to go over the prices quickly at the end here. Okay, and you can see that yeah, there's been some dumpages like ETH sort of like yeah. ETH 8, I mean, to be honest, it's not really affected ETH at all. Like, if we measure it out, like, how much was it? It was yesterday that this was announced, right? So it's gone down, what? 7%? That's nothing. Like, I faced, back in the day, I was facing 20% declines constantly. It was ridiculous. Okay? It doesn't mean that it's over. Like, maybe there'll be more news out. You'll wake up in the morning and you'll see an article that says, oh, CZ's been, arrested. The CEO of Binance is in cuffs. It could be anything right now. It could be anything. But I mean, one of my main points is that I don't feel like this bear market is over. Well, it is over, but it depends on your perspective of what a bear market is. Is the selling done? Yes, perhaps. Is the sideways action for the next year over? Maybe not. Like, it could be a situation where price just literally just goes sideways for a year, which is great for people who want to accumulate or are looking for opportunities in new assets, or new protocols or the emerging new tech that comes out, the new narrative. That's what I want to say. I mean, if there's some sort of new narrative that comes out, then great. I mean, I was looking at, what was it, Pepe token. Pepe token is finished. Like, look at it. It's literally just red and down. It's just red and down. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy. Now, there are other centralized exchanges that are popping up on the market, and I want to warn you guys about one. It's called OX. Yeah? Well, the token is called OX. Look, it's all green and beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, it looks great. This exchange is being founded by a guy called Suzu, and Suzu was the CEO of 3 Hours Capital. Do you remember what 3 Hours Capital were doing? Let me see if I can bring up I'm going to go back here and I'll show you what 3 Hours Capital done. They basically did the same thing. They commingled funds and they took people's money, but it wasn't retail. It was more like, businesses, like, who is it? Barry Silbert. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's in charge of something called 3AG maybe. But it's basically another hedge fund, and he's owed money from 3AC. And this is the 3AC. This is not Luna. I believe this is Luna up here where it collapsed down. And then the bounce, and then it was like 3AC, and then FTX. Okay, so those are the three moves that you got to worry. Like, those are the type of people that are involved. Now, a lot of them didn't get arrested. SBF got arrested. He's in prison. Do Kwon, he got caught in Montenegro, and apparently he got found with a Nano ledger up his ass. Excuse my language. But like, he valued his crypto enough to take it off of an exchange and put it on his hardware wallet, and wherever he stored it is his business. But I'm just saying, like, he did it. He did that. He went to the extreme of trying to keep his funds safe, and you got to respect him for that, right? Do you know what I mean? What else is there? Yeah. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, like, you see here, I think I pointed this out in previous videos, which you probably haven't watched. I mean, this is like from September 2018 all the way up to October 2020. So that's 2 years. 2 years of sideways. And in that time, what I would advise you to do is get off the leverage. I know you're thinking, oh, I haven't got that much money and I want to make it big. But if this thing goes sideways for 2 years and you try and trade on leverage, you're going to get eaten alive. And trust me on that, because from my own perspective, that's exactly what happened to me in this period. Like, where I could have accumulated and made, millions possibly, I was trading leverage and watching videos and trying to learn, what all these indicators do and stuff. No, forget it. Okay, now is the time for accumulation, or just leave it. Just leave it and stay curious and try and look at new projects where you can, like, maybe put some tokens into Vest. I mean, I've done that with a few. But okay, I've ranted on for 20 minutes. I'm just trying to let you guys. I'm just trying to warn you guys. Like, okay, take it from someone who's been in crypto for about 7 years now. I've seen this before. This is not as bad as it was. Like, because at least I believe that Ethereum is actually building something that's going to be around for the long run. Like, it's been around this long, and I can see the improvements. And yeah, it's going to be an epic bull run next time it comes. But until then, please be careful with the money that you're earning if you have a job. And secondly, if you have funds on a centralized exchange, get it off now and just put it in a hardware wallet. It literally costs $60 to get a ledger. Okay. I feel like the next narrative will be decentralized exchanges. So in my next video, I'm going to show you one of my favorites. I've mentioned it before, and they're actually coming out with updates and whatnot. So I want to do like before and after. If you could leave a comment or anything in the comments, obviously, just saying, oh, if you want to see that. If not, I can do something else. But yeah, what I would want to say is that yeah, I'll do that and avoid these new exchanges like OX. I can't remember what the name of the actual exchange is, but I will mention it in the next video. But this guy Suzu, he's trying to come out again and make people money or make himself very rich. Okay, even though he's already rich hiding in Dubai where there's no extradition, he will get caught. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing well. Just a quick rant. It's not a quick rant, it's a 20-minute rant. I appreciate all of the new viewers, my subscribers. Thank you so much. I love you all. And I've still got like my previous video with the links for goal free. I haven't managed to get many referrals. I've got like 44 referrals. Any referrals would really help me out. Any likes, any subscribes. Listen, I'll be back with another video in about 3 days. Yeah, and I hope everyone's